So, I feel like in the documentation of my journey, to be the highest version of myself, I feel like, transparency is the biggest component, the biggest part of this entire thing. It's the reason I started this channel in the first place. Just felt like I just really wanted to be raw about where I'm at, and where I'm trying to go. Because I feel like in this day and age, just YouTube, the YouTube scene right now is a lot of pretenders, a lot of people want to be somewhere, so they pretend like they are, and then they post it on YouTube, viral, and that's just not really the type of person I am. So I feel like transparency, me showing my raw self, could maybe inspire other people, to be their authentic self. And then, me showing my journey, maybe I can help other people who go through the same problems I go through, on the way to their highest self. I just feel like, that's really important. So today we're going to be talking about one of the biggest things that I struggled with, and that sometimes I still struggle with, and that's motivation. And I'm sure at first, when you first hear motivation, you're like, "What's the lack of motivation?" But that's really not the case. It's actually the opposite. I feel like the abundance of motivation is detrimental to success, consistency. That just means, the way I look at it like a race. Look at it like a marathon. In a marathon, you go a steady pace. You go at a steady pace the whole time. You're gonna end up running the same pace the whole time. You're gonna get there faster than the person who sprints. Everyone's sprint for a second and then they stop. They sprint and they stop because that drop off is so low that when they're done sprinting, they're all burnt out. They don't have any energy. So, and don't mind the flame. I don't know if you ever heard, but like I was saying, in a marathon, the person who runs at a steady pace is always going to be the person who sprints that drop off. And the way I look at it is, the person who sprints, every once in a while, they sprint and stop. That's a person with high motivation and discipline. They have motivation. 3 a.m. Want to do 100 push-ups. And when I say they, I'm really talking about myself because it's something that I've went through. That motivation at 3 a.m. You want to do 100 push-ups. You want to write out all the things you want to do, all the things you want to be. Watch motivational videos. Maybe go outside, run. Maybe do some sit-ups. Just things that you do when you're motivated, but don't have discipline. Whereas the person who goes at a fine pace throughout the whole journey and makes it, that's a person who's disciplined throughout. They have motivation here and there, but that motivation doesn't change their work ethic or their output because of their discipline. And when you really look at a disciplined person, their element is really something that's special, because no matter whether you're motivated, happy, sad, tired, energetic, they're always the same. And when you look at a person who puts out things, who works based off how they're feeling, it's not sustainable, it's inconsistent, and that's not something for a person. And don't get me wrong, not everybody's perfect, but who do you think's gonna win? A person who's disciplined 99% of the time, or a person who lacks discipline completely and thrives off motivation, which is not sustainable at all. So, that's just something I struggled with most of my life. Being a young kid, big dreamer. I want to be Iron Man. Go be an engineer because I feel like I could be the world's first Iron Man. So, just that type of thing. Big imaginations. random thoughts, not thoughts, but random bursts of energy at night, and do all these push-ups. I tell myself all these different things I want, and I'd even like window shop, like all the things, add them to the cart, with no money and no plan to really get to where I'm trying to get those things. And that time I spent just doing basically nothing because it didn't put me any closer to where I was. But that time I spent could have been put to way better use. And me being 18 and really understanding the real value of time, because I feel like it's going by fast. It feels like I was just in third grade moving to finals. So yeah, you're just really trying to understand the value of time. I'm starting to understand things that I did in the past that have been detrimental to my growth, and then things that I'm still, kind of doing. And that motivation is still a thing that kind of do, because as far as discipline, I'm not where I want to be yet, and I'm definitely getting there. I feel like I'm definitely getting there. To be, super disciplined, ultra disciplined, no flaws, which is ultimately my goal. Like, it's like my jaw's popped out. Anyways, my bad to get off subject. Like I was saying, just being motivated, it just doesn't work. It's not sustainable. Living off motivation is how you're gonna achieve the highest version of yourself. And a big thing for me is just picturing what my highest version of myself looks like what the highest version of myself looks like, and how disciplined he is, and how motivation doesn't affect him. And that's just something I really like to think about, in my day to day, just wondering what he's doing right now, whenever, in whatever time he is. What is he doing? What decisions are he making? What decisions is he making? And that's just something you really have to figure out for yourself, because like you only know who the highest version of yourself. That's a really relative subject, highest version of yourself. But stay on course. When I look at when I look at when I was playing football, we'd wake up at 7 a.m. really 6:30 every day. Staying disciplined to work towards something at a fine pace, because we're not gonna wake up at 6:30 every day and then expect us to be state champions in July. That's not really how it works. But that being said, consistent output, it brings desired results. You stay consistent, you stay disciplined over a long period of time, you're gonna get to where you're trying to go. Inevitably, it's not really like it's just how things work. You stay down, you do what you gotta do, regardless of feelings, regardless of emotions, regardless of even circumstances. Get what you gotta get done. That's how you really get, to the point where you want to be. I feel like I've understood that for a while, and I haven't implemented it. You guys know what I'm trying to say. I haven't really put it into my life like it needs to be. And I understand that until I do that, this conversion of me into my highest self, is nothing more than a pipe dream. A thought of my imagination was not really something that's tangible without the implementation that's something that I want y'all to understand. Whoever's does the same things that I used to sometimes do. As well, I really just want you to understand discipline is going to take you way farther than motivation ever. It's sustainable and it makes what you want tangible. This is just how the world works. Another thing I used to do, things, I kind of touched up last video, but when I'm motivated, I start a new habit, and I do it for about a week, and then I miss a day. In hindsight, I didn't really think about this back then, but in hindsight, that was motivation. It wasn't really discipline because I stopped doing it. Highest version of myself, they would have never stopped, stayed disciplined. And those type of comparisons is really things that keep me grounded, and it just lets me know where I'm at on that journey, to that person. You get what I'm saying? Those comparisons, they help me keep myself level. If that makes sense. And really just gauge kind of where I'm at on my journey. And so, but basically, I get super motivated and start a new habit. Like one time, I remember it was doing 100 push-ups, and it was birthed out motivation. It was birthed out of motivation, but it lasted for 13 days exactly. And I remember on the 13th day, it wasn't even like I was being lazy. It just slipped my mind, and it was 12 because I had to get it done. Because I would procrastinate a lot. I'd end up it would end up being 11:30, and I'd be trying to get it 100 push-ups. It takes a few minutes to do 100 push-ups. Waiting that long is what got me. That procrastination was a sign in itself that this wasn't gonna really last because the discipline wasn't there. If it was, I would have got it done a lot earlier. But nonetheless, it was about like 12:15, and throughout the day, it hadn't crossed my mind once. It just completely slipped my mind. And then it was 12:15, and I realized, and I was just panicking, and instead of doing my 100 push-ups right here, I turned it into an excuse. Oh, it's too late. It's done for. I don't need to do it. Which is just the wrong mindset entirely to have. When it comes to habits, and I just feel like that's something that I experienced, put myself through a lot of times a while ago when I used to, that was birthed out of motivation. I did about 4 days in a row. One day, I just did not feel like it at all, and I said, I could just run more tomorrow. I'll just double it tomorrow for what I was supposed to run today. You think I did that? Didn't. And I didn't run for a while after that. And so, in my I started running 3 miles every day, and right now I'm not as consistent as I was when I first started it, but I'm definitely working to be at that point because consistency is just that's the key to success. That's like the main thing you want to really just implement throughout your life and in your plan to just really become successful. And when I just think about all the things that I did that were birthed out of motivation, um, none of them last, which goes back to the point that motivation is not sustainable. You have to do things out of discipline. It's different from okay. I feel like running. I'm gonna start a new habit. I'm gonna start running every day. That's out of motivation. That's different from I really need to lose weight. I really need to I really need to get fit. There's things that I have to do to better myself. So I'm gonna run every day, no matter what, because I need to. That's discipline, and choosing to really understand in your mind that whether I'm happy, whether I had a good day, bad day, whether I feel a little sick, whether I feel a little sad, got my heart broke. None of that matters because I still need to run every day. It's a necessity when you're disciplined. You turn things from wants into necessities. I need to read 3 pages of this book, or 10 pages of this book every day. I need to study this real estate for 3 hours every day. It's a necessity. And when you look at things through that lens, really just become unstoppable. That's something I'm really beginning to understand. And just in understanding that alone, I see the growth that I've made within myself. And, it's inspiring to myself because I know I was just a year ago, kid with all these ambitions, all these dreams, and no direction. Gotta be the worst position you can be in. But at the same time, I will say that it's kind of the best at the same time because you have all this ambition and no directions. The only place you can do is grow. It doesn't really get. Basically, the only thing you can do is grow and be better and like find that direction, and that segues into another thing I want to talk about, which is purpose. Understanding where you need to be, that all comes from purpose. And when you're purposeless, you don't have no directions, you don't have no dreams or ambition of the world. If you don't have no purpose, it's meaningless. You need purpose in your life. And personally, my purpose comes from Jesus Christ. That's where my purpose comes from. Personally, I had this thing written in my room a few months ago. I wrote down. It's still in a sticky note on my desk, but it says, "Being lazy doesn't glorify God." And I just felt like, I just felt in my spirit that's something I should write down. It doesn't. The Bible talks about laziness a lot throughout the book. I just feel like, everything I'm doing should glorify God in some way. If I'm being lazy, if I'm not doing it, being undisciplined, how's that glorifying God? It's not at all. So, really implementing my purpose as a person, as a young man, to glorify God in everything that I do. It really allowed me to understand the importance of discipline and the not importance of motivation, because motivation doesn't help you in any way at all. Motivation is a feeling, which ties back to what I said. Discipline. You do what you gotta do regardless of how you feel. Motivation is a feeling that needs to be ignored. And that's not to demonize motivation. Motivation is good. Sometimes it can help you. Motivation is a good feeling. When you're motivated, it makes things that you have to do when you're disciplined. You have to do out of discipline a lot easier. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm just trying to say that when you're motivated, you shouldn't be doing more than what you're doing. Yeah. So when you're motivated, you shouldn't be doing more. Motivation just makes what you're doing easier. That's all it should do. Make it a better experience. But in reality, when you're disciplined, you don't need it to be fun. It doesn't have to be fun. It just has to get done. You're just being disciplined. But I think that's all I have for today. I just want to say I appreciate the love on my first video. It was almost at 100 subscribers right now. Last I checked, it was at 93. And just really knowing where I'm going to be in the next few years. Just looking at the growth I've had so far in the last few days, since posting my first video is a really humbling and it's a really humbling experience. It just shows me that growth is inevitable. You do something that you're called to do. I just woke up one day and said, okay, video happenings that talk about happenings. Tell people about myself, and I have experiences that I went through that I like to share with other people that might be going through the same thing I'm going through, might be trying to get to the same place I'm trying to get to. And so I just made a video and I just talked. I'm not even really a good talker. I've never been like the super talkative person, but through starting a YouTube channel and making videos, I've understood that I do have a lot to say, and that's not really something that I've always done. It's a little out of my comfort zone, but you're your best when you're out your comfort zone. It's good to be out your comfort zone every once in a while, and it's kind of growing on me. I like talking about just because I know that it can become somebody else's life. So y'all appreciate all the love, y'all. If you're here, in a few years we're gonna look back at these videos and really the growth is gonna be evident. I know it is. And I'm not gonna have nobody else to thank but God, because God showed me the vision and He showed me how to implement the vision. And that's through discipline. And so, discipline and prayer. So I encourage everybody to read your Bibles, pray every morning. It's something that I'm trying to do myself. I've been struggling with consistency, but that just wasn't working at that relationship, even if you don't feel like it sometimes. It's important, and that's detrimental to your success too. But that's enough for today, y'all. Appreciate the love. Catch y'all in the next video.